It got cold. Woo! We're here so late. It's like 8 o'clock. I'm just kidding.
Well, the sun is definitely going down.
It's going down.
Yeah.
Another week's gone by.
Yeah, it has.
We've been at the same place many weeks now. This is NVC Day One, and I'm Kady with Living Connected, and
I'm Eric Wong. I'm the one from NVCDayOne.
yeah, well, we're on the show.
Probably, whatever it is that it is. So, Kady, we've been talking a lot about what's going on with you, and I just said, I don't know if people are going to watch this and be interested.
Sure.
And what was your what do you think? What do you when I say stuff like that?
Well, when you said I don't know if people are going to watch it, it's that this process that I am in right now is exactly what if we're in that level of awareness where we know what's happening around our behaviors and we are getting connected with what's going on, this is the process of what I'm doing, finding those strategies or the pause. This is how we get to those higher levels of this consciousness that we want to be in, where we can be, if you want to say the Dalai Lama or the Buddha, where they just stay calm, where in moments of me being triggered or heightened or riled up or want to be sarcastic and snarky, this is the journey that I'm on. This is where I am in my process in my life. And eventually maybe I'll get to a point where, say, my family member comes at me and I actually could respond in a very calm way or in a way that is constructive, and be 100% proud of myself for getting to that point. Because before 4 years ago, I didn't have any of this.
You had no skills.
No skills, no tools, no NVC,
awareness.
None.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was perfectly fine that this is what was going on.
Right.
And it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
It doesn't serve you anymore the way it did
Right.
before. It maybe never served you.
It never did. And I think at some point in my 10 years of relationships that I've had, I think I was just trying to gather all the information. Why don't relationships work? Why aren't these relationships working? What am I doing? How can I make myself improve, or how can I be, improve on myself? And I was always grasping for information. And it was from this article or this paper or this psychologist, and for some reason, I could gather all the information that I could, which is helpful. And then NVC came along and I was like, oh, duh, this whole time, this is what I've been needing this whole time. But I wasn't communicating it like that. And so when you say oh, who's gonna watch this, or if people do, is it too long? It's thinking that everyone has a journey. So do you. So does this person over there and that person over there. And it's maybe they'll find some insight on how I'm navigating this situation or this experience in me and go, I do that too. I do exactly what she's doing. So why not share a story when other people might resonate with it? And if you don't, you still might get something out of it too. So every one of us is learning if we want to. We want that intention or awareness to learn and grow. And my intention is to learn and grow. I want to be better. I don't want to stay this reactive person all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So taking moments and just learning as much as I can and pausing are important. And someone out there is going to think oh yeah, that makes sense to me.
Well, I certainly appreciate that you've been sharing this really very transparently.
You're welcome.
It helps with my learning. But what I think I heard you say was that NVC helped you identify the needs underneath all of these different expressions that you had.
Yeah.
And how it was the reason that the expression was making it harder to get what you really needed. And for where you're at on your path is now you have this awareness and you're just practicing.
Yeah, even if it's in screaming giraffe.
Because
I feel most of the time what I'm doing is basically screaming my knees at these people.
Right. And
Listen to my knees. Meeting them where they are. All I'm saying is I need this and I need that. But they don't hear that.
They hear criticism or blame or shame.
Yes. And then I hear blame, and then I want to say, oh, but my needs are these. And
Right.
they're like, what about my needs? But they don't have a clue what their needs are.
No. But you might know what their needs are.
Yeah. After I like leave the room.
Right, in that moment. Okay.
So yes, the tragic way that we've communicated through criticisms, blame, judgments are so many needs underneath that. And to understand that there's needs underneath those things, and that it's actually that they're not, what they're saying is what they've learned how to communicate. And I get a chance when I become the Dalai Lama that I'll be able to, or Marshall, you know, like he was able to read what was underneath what people were saying. And
Yeah.
if I can stay in a neutral place like that, and
There's some hope.
yeah,
So NVC gives you hope.
yeah, that I would be able to say, oh, Dad, you needed this, and you know, were you just really wanting to be blah, blah, blah. If I can get to a place where I'm not reacting to what he's saying, because I get hooked so easily, I can come with a more warm space and then be like, oh yeah, that's what I want.
It's so interesting because I'm going to shift to me, okay? I think as we've been talking now for an hour and a half here in the forest, that you describe, you know, awareness, growth, and to me, and this is what I actually don't understand, this is very meta. I keep wanting to give you advice or educate even the audience.
Sure.
And I'm just totally in acceptance of what's going on. It's really weird. It's a different thing.
Yeah.
So I'm in acceptance of the fact that you act the way you are. You're meeting your dad where he's at, reactively or not. And I don't feel right. This is what's so interesting. I don't feel right giving you advice or telling you what to do.
Sure.
Because I think you know what to do, which is you take care of yourself, you get
Yeah.
empathy from others,
Yeah.
build your capacity so that there's a chance when you come into a situation. You know all of that, right?
Yeah.
You totally know all of that.
Yeah.
And it still happens.
And it still happens.
Right. And I think it still happens to NVC trainers
Yeah, I bet it does.
after 5, 10, 20 years. There's no
Yeah.
question. So, what hope is there for me? No, that's not the
Yeah,
right
what-
answer.
what
What
is
hope
there
is there for me?
Yeah.
No, but it's interesting. So I think I'm in some sort of really interesting acceptance. So I can just take your story in and not experience any pain or wanting to fix it or tell the group anything
Sure.
because you know.
It's interesting because so many people can tell me to like try this thing out or this strategy. And I already know this.
Yeah, you sure do.
But it's the doing it part that is
It's
extremely hard.
Or the being part.
The being part.
Yeah.
And acceptance part.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
So you know to replace the reaction with something else, but you in the moment it's hard.
Yeah, because your reptile brain goes
Right.
it's like taking over. For whatever reason, you're like, go back where you were just now.
That's right. And what we're trying to do again with NVC is to engage our cognitive, it's actually we're trying to engage our cognitive brain to bring awareness to self, physical sensation,
Yep.
feelings,
Yep.
making observations of the outside world, internal observations of feelings,
Yep.
thinking about needs, embodying those needs, and then making it mourning, learning, celebrating, all of those things so that we can hopefully
Yeah.
evolve over time.
Yes.
And
Can't wait.
right, it'd be nice if it was right now, right?
But that's what this journey's about.
Is that what it's about?
I think this whole life while we're here is to
I always think because I'm older than you, I have something to teach you, but it turns out that you have a whole bunch to teach me. Is that how
there
it's...
was someone when I was doing my video editing and wanting to like do that, this guy was like he's my mentor in editing, and I was telling him just in that moment of where I was in my life, he goes, oh my God, you've done so many things, like you've had so many experiences that I haven't had in almost my entire life. He's like, your wisdom is so much more than mine in that way, relationships and things.
Right,
So
right.
he's like, I've never experienced those things. And I'm older than you. I was like, is that
I'd
good
say
or
he's,
bad?
I think he's probably led a very boring, pedantic life. That's what I think.
Or I just got myself in situations that probably weren't good either. I just have grown enough to.
I think we get to learn. I certainly believe that we get to learn from everybody.
Oh, they're all lessons somewhere.
And frankly, if I'm bored, it's my responsibility to ask the questions to get what I need for me. Yeah. But and I'm still thinking about your dad. We've talked about this so many times, but your family. You. Okay, we're gonna pause here. We're gonna start again. Wave goodbye.
Until next time.